Hello, everyone. It's 9 o'clock. I think we'll get started here. I want to welcome you all to this conversation and interview with Weihaur Lau, who is joining us from the Bay Area. And the topic of the call today is productivity and self-worth. This is something that Weihaur and I have talked about a lot, that we've worked on a lot. And I wanted to explore it with him and with you today. A few notes on Zoom. If you're in a place that you're able to turn on your video, I encourage it. This is a pretty small group, so we can kind of be more meeting style than broadcast style. And you'll be muted by default, but if you have a question or there's something you'd like to say, you can just unmute yourself. We'll stop at a few points throughout the next 60 minutes to see if you have any comments or questions. And lastly, the chat, which you can access by clicking the chat button in the toolbar. You can feel free to chat in there, anything you notice, any examples, any questions, and I'll check in there as well from time to time. So I wanted to introduce you to Weihaur. I met Weihaur a few years ago at a leadership program that I was doing in San Francisco, where he was an instructor and a coach. And after that, after we became friends, I hired him. I worked with him to work with me on my wellness. And this is kind of a hard thing to describe. There's no great word for it, but basically, Weihaur, I'll give you my own introduction, and then I'll ask you to introduce yourself. But Weihaur has a really interesting business called Created Living. That basically it's like an incubator for leaders, but not in the sense of like hard skills, like engineering or stuff like that, but in wellness. So he works with leaders from many different kinds of domains on really their complete holistic well-being, self-awareness, health, vitality. And to do that, he's kind of like me with productivity, where he's willing to access any modality. When we work together, we would do yoga one day, and the next day we're like, looking at my past and some of the associations I've made in the past. We're looking at my diet. We're looking at at all sorts of different things, family dynamics, group dynamics. It was quite a journey of exploration. And it was really an incredible experience to just discover what made me tick as a human being and as a leader, and had just remarkable results in my self-confidence and my peace of mind, more tangible things like my sleep, my diet. And now Weihaur, after my encouragement, has created an online course, as I've encouraged him to do this in a more scaled way rather than just one-on-one. And that's part of what we're here to talk about too. I'll ask Weihaur probably toward the end to tell you about the details of his online course. But yeah, I just really think it's an incredibly important service and experience. And I think we'll have some insights to share with you today about what that's like. So Weihaur, can you tell us, is there anything I missed out or anything you want to add to that? And also, why did you propose this topic for today's call?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Tiago, for that great introduction. Really, always is interesting to hear how people introduce me. So, yeah, a little bit about myself. I've been in health and well-being work for 2 decades and started from doing a lot of HIV/AIDS work with people that nearly dying. To then, in my mid-30s, my dad actually passed with cancer, and my mom had a stroke at the same time. Within the 4 months, my dad died of cancer. And I realized that all my life I lived with leaders. My dad owned like a manufacturing factory for 30 employees. My mom ran a mega supermarket that ran about 30, 40 employees. So I feel like I grew up with leaders. And that's a certain way that I see leaders thrive. And I also saw leaders really fell and hit the rock bottom. And to see my mom couldn't pick herself up is heartbreaking to see my dad like literally cannot fulfill on his own retirement and die at age 63 is heartbreaking. And what I really awakened at that time at age 30, when that happened to me, I started to question, how am I living? And it's like, it's a wake up call, like, wow, if I from 30 years old to 50, I do exactly what my parents done, and I will end up there. And so that's something I'm not committed to. And I completely went from drinking 3 coffee a day as a high performer leader. So I was also precursor like Tiago, like coffee junkie and or adrenal junkie, to actually perform, and really see the cost of it on my well-being and my longevity, also my peace of mind. So help me really relearn everything, my diet, my well-being, my exercise, and the quality of my energy of throughout the day, and also my impact on other people. And so I really saw that leader have such an impact on people that we don't notice. And I really interested. Also, I think my commitment is leader really thrive with fulfillment and not a sacrifice. And that began my journey that I need to cause leader that is really fulfilled internally and externally. And that helped me learn all the different modalities that will help the leader, empower the leader, the mind, the body, and really spiritual. Spiritual, I mean by really who are we for the world, given we impact so many people, and really comes together with it. So, and what had me talk about this, really interested to talk about this topic today, self-growth versus productivity, is that I have seen after coaching so many leaders that there is a collapse at some point, that leaders are thrive at productivity. We feel this empowerment in our body when we actually produce and see our result. But also we collapse that as that's how much we worth. So we become this production machine that can't stop. And I see that, no, your result are your result. Your worth is who you are for the world. Your value, your commitments, your caring and committed to others. And sometimes I found that people don't have to do anything. Like, I don't have to do anything. People in my presence just got my love for them. And that's all they need. And so now today, I love to explore that with you guys. What's that mean to you?
Yeah. I just gave a talk on Sunday at a conference in LA. Excuse me. And it was about pleasure as an organizing principle, like using pleasure as a sort of guide. And as I was researching that, I realized it's a funny thing to research pleasure. It's like, like a foreign concept sometimes. And I kind of discovered that the opposite of pleasure is not pain, it's dissociation. That when you're dissociated, you're sort of like separated from your body. You're kind of this head floating in space on the internet. And I really resonated with that because the author I was reading, she said, when you're dissociated, you don't know why you do things. You're not actually doing things for the pleasure of it, for the purpose. You're doing it to escape. And just kind of, you need it. You have to do it to keep escaping. And that kind of slowly sucks the joy out of life as you realize you don't actually know what you want. You don't actually know what makes you feel good. Say more, Weihaur, about the, you said fulfillment instead of sacrifice. What have you discovered in that balance, or that split?
I think a lot of time we are trained as leader to actually put our need aside, set aside our to grind the hours, to to sacrifice. We are trained so much, it's like military style, to actually not eat at the right time, not sleep at the right time, sacrifice those sleep, burn those candles with both ends. And I done it myself. We train in school that, have to study to lay in for the exam. And I think from that age, we already been trained that, hey, in order to succeed, we got to sacrifice. And we learned that, and we carry that forward. And I think as leader, we are looking for fulfillment. How could we be fulfilled? How my values can be expressed of who I am? Like, do I actually walk around someone want to be like? That do I carry the which kind of energy I'm carrying? The Dalai Lama kind of energy, or the go-getter didn't sleep last night energy? Like, what kind of energy? And do they really, if they really look behind the curtain, do they really want that life?
Yeah, that's a powerful question. If someone really knew everything that I had to do to keep up this facade, would they be interested? Why do you think sacrifice is so addictive? Like, you think it would be easy to just tell people, look, live now. Don't destroy the present. Don't destroy your health for some imagined future that may never come. Live for now. Why do you think that's so hard to sort of make that shift?
Because I think we all kind of have a myth of being fooled, that we've been painted this picture by the time you retire, you get on the cruise ship, you finally have the time to live that life with your many $million. They didn't paint the picture that, oh, by the way, you'll climb the Great Wall of China with your wheelchair. Or, or the hospital bed is the bed that you frequently visit. And, they didn't paint that reality if you sacrifice. And they just called it, if you sacrifice, you're going to be the billionaire. I was like, when my mom and dad had that incident of their health, desperately transformation, I was like, oh my God, they've been sold that myth. And they really didn't see this coming. And
interesting. It's almost like we enter into an agreement with life, and we go, life, look, for the next however many years, for my 20s or my 30s or whatever, I'll give up this and this and this. I'll give up joy and pleasure and satisfaction, and then you give me the success that I want. It's like a trade, except life doesn't enter into such agreements. We're making this proposal and going, okay, we agree. And life is just like, no, what happens. That just may never happen. There's so many things that can happen between now and that imagined future. And not just death. Like, we were walking, I was walking with my parents yesterday on the beach in Laguna Niguel, this stretch of beach that has like multi-million-dollar houses, enormous houses. And each one, right up against the beach. And we were telling each other, like, this is like a really sad, lonely place. It just felt like there was something, like there was first of all no one in the houses, and we walk there all the time. You never see people in these houses. They live elsewhere. They don't even live in these houses that they own, and there's just zero community. It was all like high security fences and guards and dial pads, and there was zero community to speak of. And I think, wow, that future may even work out and still not be the future that you want, or that really give you really ultimately what we want is the feelings. We want the experience that future is going to give us, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. Actually, that reminds me the same experience in childhood, where my mom took me to wealthy people home in Malaysia, and literally this huge bungalow with 4-story and all that. And I remember I got there, I had the same feeling, like eerie feeling, that this place is kind of dead. And as a child, I need to go. I told my mom, time to go. In my mind, I can't wait to go back to my family home when I feel the warmth, and there's a lot of people, like 4 siblings living in 1 bedroom, bunk beds, and I can smell the food, my family cooking. My mom also have some workers like live there. It's like to me that was, I thought, oh, I need that warmth, this eerie, that energy kind of, like wasn't gel with me, and had me see that, oh, that's not what the feeling and fulfillment I'm looking for and I want, and this big swimming pool doesn't even buy it for me, and have me rethink that all the time. How do I want my home to be like? Very interesting. Also, a lot of time I visit my client homes. When I ask them to rate their home, they always say, in America, this is classic. Okay, they'll rate their physical body at 3, between 1 to 10. I say 1 to 10, how you fulfill in your physical body, your home, and nutrition. Physical body usually around 2 or 3. Even beauty is like 2 or 3, and the home is like 8. Across the board. I was like, okay. And I was like, okay, wait, I think you rate your home is only based on the aesthetic look. And it kind of like, then I say, I need to check it out. So every time I go and check it out, and I can just feel like, well, yeah, some of your home are great, but it's kind of from the magazine, this, home magazine. It looks good, but does it feel like a place that you walk into, like a temple or like a Japanese garden that give you that kind of aliveness and that beingness? And they say no. I say, yeah, consider that's not rated in a way that touch your humanity, touch your energy zone. And then I told one client, he like, some of us are so like the disassociation that you talk about, that is operate only from the mind and the brain engineers. I say, can you feel your body? Can you feel your environment? I say, no. What's that mean? I say, okay, one day come with me to this Japanese bonsai garden. I say, now stand in front of this 400-year-old bonsai garden, a bonsai tree, and then stand there for a moment, be with it, use your body to feel it, and then stand next to a bonsai that is 10, 20 years old, and tell me the difference. I was like, wow, this engineer can start to tell me, wow, this 400 years old bonsai emitting such a grounding experience. There's this energy that coming to me in my body. I can feel my body. Versus this one say, oh yeah, it's kind of light and it's great, it's fresh, but it's very different. They have very different energy. So I was like, bingo. Now your body can feel, you're just not associated with it. Same thing when you go home, you don't have the connection with home, and it looks good, but it's not a place that you can meditate, you can rest, you can create, you can, be yourself and do nothing. And the other thing that is we should talk about, I find 90% of my client, probably the precursor Tiago too, and I ask them, schedule yourself 2-3 hours doing nothing, drive them nuts.
Yeah, it was interesting, that process that you talk a little bit about, that thing you do at the beginning where you have people basically rate their lives. I think you have 8 or 10 different parts of their life on a scale of 1 to 10, which is the simple. You'd think that would be the simplest thing that we would do all the time, and yet it's pretty eye-opening.
Yeah, sure. So I have client, then you can go along and rate yourself. There's basically these 8 pillars that to me govern our well-being. So one is nutrition. Nutrition means eating in a way that's connected to our body, and eat in a way that's mindful, and eat the right time for your body, the right amount. Whatever diet plan on you, I'm not big on diet plan. then you have connection with your food. And then second rate your spiritual, how often you actually connected to your greater self, your higher self, your calm self, and know who you are in your life and actually operating from that. Then you rate between 1 to 10 your physical body, like really how often throughout a week, 2 to 3 times, you actually exercise your body, make your body feel alive and connected, and also do relaxing things like yoga and Tai Chi or Qigong, combination of fitness and flexibility. Then you rate yourself on your medicinal. Medicinal means that how often do you kind of garden your own body with medicine, whether it's vitamins, seeing doctor, chiropractor, acupuncture, everything that's holistic to bring your body like a car that you maintain, not just go to a doctor or mechanic when it's have a breakdown. So it's kind of really maintaining your body medicinally. And then you rate yourself on your home environment, whether it's a home that is really relaxing you, expresses who you are, and it's calm, and it's like a garden, like a temple. And then you rate yourself on your life. How fulfilled are you? How passionate are you? How balanced you have your life to be? And if you look at your life, are you happy with it? And you rate that in your relationship, your different areas of your life, career, and then you rate on your money. And funny enough, people don't rate their money, and say it's not about money. Well, it's not about how a lot you make or not enough you make. You really, it's like how well you are with it. That do you have an empowering context around it? Do you have to keep working more and more and more to accumulate more? Or are you satisfied doing what you love around money, and do you manage it and create a future with it? And do you manage it and organize it? And then you rate your beauty. Beauty is, to me, is like your sense of self from the inside out and the outside in. Do you regard yourself? Do you sleep well? Do you rest well? Do you pamper yourself, self-caring? Do you dress yourself in a way that express who you are? Do you like really keep a high vibration of your energy as a beauty? So that it's funny nowadays. My male client would say, "Oh, wait, how I'm scoring myself at the beauty categories." Putting on new clothes, the new closet, and all of that I never done. So
Yeah, it's really, so it's such an interesting process because first, I think we're never that systematic. This is where I love things like this that cross from systematic to intuitive, where it does both. And there's no objective way to rate those things. You just sort of ask yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, what is it? But then it surfaces interesting things. Like I went over my ratings with my at the time girlfriend, now wife, Lauren. And it's really interesting because usually parts of your life you're not satisfied with, there's no easy way to talk about it with your family. It usually tends to come out in complaints. Like if you're just not, you don't like that the house is disorganized. Once in a while, you just kind of let off some steam and just like, it's so disorganized around here. And then everyone around you just gets used to, Tiago just randomly complains about how the house is once in a while. You can just ignore him. There's really nothing behind that. And so you start training each other to just ignore all of these complaints. But these complaints are actually pointing to deep sources of dissatisfaction in your life. So I went and I did my ratings and I showed it to Lauren, and it provoked some really interesting discussions. I mean, one of them was our relationship wasn't a 10. I think it was still like a 9 or like an 8, but she was like, what? Like, it's not a 10? Like, are you unhappy? Are you dissatisfied? And I was like, no, I just think it could be better. I think there's realms, with each other that we haven't explored. And that provoked a whole other discussion, when you've been with someone for years, you sometimes stop thinking about what's, beyond what you already experienced. And And I really like all, like, another thing I think I realized is how compartmentalized things are. You know, like one or two or three or four categories will be super high, and I really pride myself on those, and that's my identity, that's my self-worth, all these things. But then the cost of keeping those four high is that the other ones are really, really low, and like right at the empty, it's like the empty gas light is on, and I'm just keeping them at survival, and then pretending like those things don't interact. You know, pretending like let's say the one that's probably least important to me, which is like the way I dress, the way I look, and then just realizing that there's something there about the way I see myself, the way I consider myself, the way I present myself to others, that I'm not able to access by keeping that like the neglected stepchild of my life. So Weihaur, what do you do with that? So you have this information about, you know, the holistic evaluation of someone's life. Do you target the worst one, or the bottom few, or how do you go about that?
Sure, interesting. So part of after rating yourself on the wheel, I also point to that. Well, if this wheel, like a bicycle wheel of your life, tell me how smooth is the ride is. And everyone say, oh my God, it's pretty bumpy. I said, yeah, isn't that feel like that? That's how your life kind of goes. It's a little bit bumpy, you know? And I say, yeah, so our goal here is not to be perfect, but it's actually expand the view, start to pay attention on the lower rating, start to expand those, and then while maintaining those that is at higher, and sooner or later, the view is actually have a synchronicity with each other. Your life gonna impact your food eating, gonna impact your life energy. Your exercise is gonna impact your home environment need to change, or your relationship. And so you start to have all this interaction between the two different compartments. Like I say, it's no longer compartmentalized, and it's actually bringing those areas that's lower start impacting. So for example, if I work with people that like nutrition or physical is low, I would have them go through that. Hey, now we start to clear up your food, and what kind of food you use to actually numb yourself, and all that. We start to clear it up. We start to give them healthy food, set time to eat, and prepare meal. That also helped them realize that, wow, I don't spend time at home. That's why I don't even cook. I'm like, order my food. Everything I outsource. Nowadays, I like my millennium. Everything is outsourced. Outsource your laundry, outsource your food, outsource everything. So, hey, there is a cost in outsourcing, such as you can be with yourself even when you make your food, and you're not being at home with yourself. You don't allow time for yourself. That's consider that's you don't allow yourself to have time. And so they get present to, wow, I need to be at home more. I'm not even home to make food, and they have to do with each other. And so they start to upgrade their food, they upgrade their kitchen, they upgrade that so that they bring that together. Then these two pillars start to flourish. And then when they do their physical exercise, and it really depends where you are as the leader. So certain leader is great on striving, you know, performing, like go. And then I say, okay, let me look at even you go to the gym and say, okay, look at what do you do? Well, after 8 hours of work, you go pushing more iron, pushing more this. I was like, isn't that keep pushing? How about the flexing? How about the relaxing? How about that? I say, kid you or not, that is harder than pushing. So I will send my leader to yoga classes, and I will pick the yoga class that for them. It's not those vinyasa where you have to move so many times and say, no. I'm going to pick one that you have to move the least time. And I'll bet you will have harder time going to that yoga class. So swear to God, some of them go to those yoga class. Way how I got them is so yin yoga. I can't stop by crying one women leader can't stop, but just when she got present to her body that overrun by masculinity, they just, oh my God, I just kept crying because I just feel like my body needs to be healed and the body saying, finally, you're giving me attention. And that was so powerful for her that she could see now she actually bring that femininity to herself as a leader. And few weeks later, she visit her sister, and her sister noticed that. She's like, oh, you become really more women. Whatever you're doing is good. Keep doing. She called me like, oh my God, my sister said, something completely shifted in my space, just being more home with myself and not try to push my agenda and on everyone, driving everyone, even on vacation, like, it's like, I'm just more relaxed. I'm just more okay with myself.
Yeah, that's something I've noticed too is, cognitive enhancement, intellectual enhancement doesn't impact your family. Like when I learn, oh, some new research on something, my family doesn't care. They might listen to me because they're nice, but that new theory doesn't impact them. It does impact them when I change who I'm being. When I slow down, when I take the time, when I'm actually present, like in a conversation, listening instead of like off somewhere else, that has a dramatic impact on the people around me. And they notice the slightest changes. It's quite amazing. We think of ourselves as these units, these individualistic units, but actually we're part of the social fabric, and every little ripple, kind of every wave ripples across our social network, our real social network, not Facebook. When it opened up,
there's the one more example. This executive, and he said that, well, I got home, I have a 3 years old son, but when I get home, I can't stop thinking about work, and I felt like I'm really not present with my son, and that really bothered me. And over a month or two working with him, he said that, oh, Weihaur, when I was doing my green juicing in the morning, and then my son would say, Daddy, make green juice. It's like, Daddy he's happy. He knows that his daddy is not trying to rush somewhere. He's actually present and is actually connected and healthy, So now he and his son drink the green juice together, and, it becomes their bonding time. And now he take him to swimmings, and he really find ways to really be present when he's not in his mind have 600 to-do lists, and that he can't even move with his son. And so then the quality of people around him increased dramatically and give him so much satisfaction to be a dad and also a strong leader.
This was the guy that was from my audience, right?
Yes.
Very cool. Yeah. Amazing. Awesome. I want to open it up to any questions that you guys have, or anything in this conversation. Even doesn't have to be a question that you're reminded of, or that resonates with you, or that you've noticed. And you can type in the chat if you'd like, but I'd love for you to unmute yourself and speak.
Hey, Tiago, it's Christian. I got a question around the 8 things that are rated. And how do you think about what's important to the person that's doing the rating? So, all our bicycle spokes probably aren't the same. So I guess when they're doing that, how do you think about that exercise? Like what's important to them versus what they're doing?
So good question. So normally I ask is like, how satisfied are you? Like if you really ask yourself how fulfilled and satisfied, then you have to really look at, well, is it just all the doing, or am I really fulfilled and satisfied, and in all aspect of it? And then a lot of time people just rate by, okay. But I think also it's by the question I ask when they rate them. Like I will ask that, hey, it's not just eating organic food, the right plan, the right diet. I say, do you connect with your food? Do you know that you have like, if your food is your romantic partner? How it enters your body, do you consider it? Is it you eating when you're driving at the traffic lights, or eating when you're watching TV or screen? That's how you treat your food. It's like how you treat your partner. I say that, whoa, they never saw that. They eat their gourmet, organic in San Francisco Bay Area, like the richest place in the world, like Marin County. My client read at his, she say, I eat my food at the red lights. you know, they buy the most expensive food, they eat it at the red light, and now they have to rate that. I can rate my nutrition pillar at 8 anymore, even I have the nutritionist. I had to lower it down so that I have a gap to see that I started to reconsider. I may be at a 5 in terms of mindful eating.
And so are you educating them as you're asking them these questions, or do they rate them and then you go back and review them?
Yeah.
How do you approach it?
Yeah, true. I when I have a one-on-one session with them, and I do ask them, so what are you doing in this area? And then I will ask question, well, how about this? How about that? You do well in here, but how about the other factor you don't see? Then they started, oh yeah, I have a nice home, but doesn't feel like a temple. Like, then it's like, okay, now it's not 8, it's 6. So they start to tell the truth about what they actually want versus what other people want them to want. Right? So if the client really tell the truth that, oh, people come to my home, it looks great, all of that. But I said that, how about you? How about what you want? Oh, well, I really like my home when it was young. It feel homey, and it's not perfection, and it's like I'm missing that. I say, yeah, that's needed for you. So bring that in. I say, yeah, you're right. So it's more personalized for people.
And then how often are you coming back to how it's going, or is this a weekly, or how do you think about the evolution of the spokes and how the wheels rolling?
Sure. I say as a given, if I work with people in 3 to 4 months, almost every month I will have them re-rate, or they will start the program, meet up the program when I see a lot of improvement, and I want to acknowledge where they improve. So we rate again, and they say that, wow, I've noticed that this big improvement, even 2 points for them at a very low point, is a huge, drastic change, and they can feel it. They say, yeah, let's go back and rate it. And I say, oh my God, each area, right, going up 2 points. I think it's huge for you that this pillar that is dead is going up and impacting other areas as well.
Yeah,
awesome. Appreciate it.
There's something I noticed from going through the process too, Christian, which is, there's so many modalities now. We have this smorgasbord of like any aspect of our lives we want to change. There's every kind of yoga. You can go to a Chinese medicine doctor. You can go to acupuncture. You can do massage. Everything is self-serve. But Weihaur is kind of like he's like a concierge. He's like a translator to these different modalities. So like we went to this Chinese medicine doctor, traditional Chinese medicine doctor in San Francisco, in Chinatown, like the OG guy. Like he was like really old. He'd been doing it for years and years and years and years. He like knew it's the one that the Chinese people go to. So it's like, really legit. But I would never have found this guy. He didn't speak English at all, so I wouldn't be able to communicate with him. And then also, he gave me some Chinese, what were those herbs where you boil them and you drink them? And it's like so foreign to us. I'm like there in my pot with this, it looks like a nest. It looks like a bird's nest of different random things. And you're boiling it, and then the liquid looks like this, like it's this dark, thick brown liquid, and then it tastes terrible. And I would call Weihaur, just be like, Weihaur, are you sure? Is this really how this is supposed to go? And there's just no way that I would have kept with it without someone there that bridges the East. This is really his specialty. I think you're working on a PhD in this, right, Weihaur? Like the integration of Eastern and Western medicine, using each one of those for what it does well, but not using it for what it doesn't do well, right? Like if you're in a car accident, you want Western medicine. If you're trying to holistically balance your internal resources, you want Eastern. So I think that's going to be a more and more important role. By the way, Weihaur, I think that you're going to need to train people. It's just like, we need a better name, but like modality concierge, modality like menu organizer.
Oh, good. Yeah, thank you. I think definitely that come in handy. No, I actually think that that's true. I help people translate to people, to leaders. Well, what is important to you? That actually I can translate. Like recently, I translate yoga to an engineer. Never done yoga. Very terrified. Like don't think he's flexible. I said, okay, let me translate to you what is going to be important to you. So it's the same guy talking about that he couldn't connect with his body. I say, okay, so imagine, so yoga is very simple. Basically, yoga is, have you washed your cloth, like your rag, and you have to soak it in the water. If you want to clean it with hot water, and then you need to squeeze it. And when you squeeze it, all those water and toxins comes out, isn't it? I said, that's yoga for you. I was like, wow, really? I said, yeah, because you're gonna now do exercise to heat up your body, and then you're gonna breathe and twist it, and now you detox every fiber of your body. So guess what will happen to your body? All these toxins comes out, and you can revitalize your body. And what you need is revitalization. You can't sleep at night. I say, yes, because your body is junked up. So now you do the yoga in a way to unjunk it, so now you can sleep. Now, like sleep soundly, and he know that has to do with his eating and exercise, and when he eats, and he also worked late before, so he eat late. One of the things he changed was, now I eat earlier, and I know the impact of staying up late and eating late. I couldn't sleep. So
makes so much sense. It's like they all speak different languages. Each modality has its own language, and they might be talking about the same thing or a related thing, but using different words. That's
and
really
also, I think knowing which kind fit the person, and a person that is more laid back and now actually need more the movement type. So I also help people analyze your body constitution. So in Eastern medicine, we actually analyze your body as already has a constitution, which is like Tiago is a fire body. He go, he burn. I was like, okay, Tiago, we need some slowing down and nourishment. You need to bring the water energy into you so that it's cool you down, so that you're calmer, and then you don't drive yourself crazy and also drive other people around you crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to get to AJ has had his hand raised for a while, and then let's get to the comments from Evan and Jennifer. So AJ, did you have something?
Yeah, sure. I appreciate it. This has been very interesting. And I think the comments you made about the bonsai trees and feeling the energy sort of resonated. And I was curious, and that's something that I'm absolutely completely dissociated from. But I'm curious about if that's something I wanted to start fostering, what you would suggest, either modality wise or just something to clue in, I guess, to start fostering.
Is it about food? Is that what you asked?
Well, no, just the energy from, I guess, surroundings, like you said, what you were just talking about, Tiago, the fire energy versus the water energy. I mean, that's something that, I mean, it's completely foreign to me, but I it speaks to me, I guess, in some way, but I have no idea where to even start or how to foster that or go deeper, I guess.
Sure. So and generally when I work with people, I have to do some online survey, and the survey would tell you from different modality. From some Indian modality would tell you there are basically three types. You either a fire type, or you are a earthy type, which is like a tree, grounded, and then you a wind type, which is like movements and volatile. So by just being with you, I kind of really can guess that you're kind of like an earthy person. You're pretty grounded. Like you kind of know who you are. Like like no kidding. But sometimes what challenge for you is to be more fiery, inspired. Like get out your box, get out your tree. Like really be out here, and you'll expand more by adopting being that is outside your regular strengths. And does that make sense to you? You muted yourself.
How do what do I, like you said, for the yoga would be something for, or nutrition, I mean, something like that where would you recommend? Like, just not even me specifically, but is there something like where to go to start learning more about something like that and
sure.
connecting with that?
Yeah, so I can type here, for the Constitution, Ayurvedic dosha test. So you Google that will actually give you a several link that you can actually kind of find out what your constitutions are by answering like 10 minutes quiz. Yep.
Very cool.
And then other modalities have more like Chinese modality have five elements. That's metal and water. So a little bit different but similar. So yeah. So it's help you to break out to know your strengths. Also break away from your limitation.
Yeah. Yeah. I really encourage you to take that. It's really interesting. Like I took several of these tests, and in every one I was like earth. It's like I was the earth sign, and then I was like the ground in a different one. And then I was the bull. And it's like, it's so clear that I'm just about like this, like just push through. I can ignore, and I see this all over. Like sometimes I'll be working on something so hard, I forget that I have to go to the bathroom. Or I regularly don't eat for like 12 hours or 16 hours. And it's because it's just that bull, just push through until you get to the end. And it's destructive. It's totally self-destructive. It's like the way how I just said, it's your strength. I think that's why it's so hard to let go of, because you've become known for this capability that you have. AJ, it's funny. You can tell just by looking at you, just by hearing you speak, that groundedness, that solidness, that dependability, reliability is probably a strength. And probably people all around you rely on that. They expect you. They project that expectation onto you. And that makes it all the harder to do something like fire, right? Like I found that dance has been really key for me, because it's totally ungrounded. It's more air. It's more air sign. It's just like out there, you don't know what's going to happen. Your body does things and then you just follow. And it's really, really beyond the comfort zone, but really powerful. I want to get to these and then spend the last 5 to 10 minutes, Weihaur, talking about your program in case there's someone that wants to take part. Evan asks, do you ever mediate connections between clients? Like, do you ever have gatherings or things where your different clients come together?
Yeah, it depends. And actually, when I run group programs, I actually have group conference like this, and people from different city participate in the group program. So there are conference like that. And at time I run a weekend intensive. So where people can attend and in different like in Bay Area, or they fly in, and I clients from Portland fly-ins, and so we do weekend intensive in those kind of things. So yeah, so it depends on where you participate from. There are different options.
Cool. Jennifer asked, how did you find your way to this work?
Oh, like the story I told, that when my father passed with cancer, my mom had a stroke, and my mom also had diabetes and a stroke. So I really at that time was researching, how am I going to transform my mother from the stroke and not be able to move her hand and not be able to speak. I was like, well, we're in big trouble. And and so I go out the way to actually learn all the different modalities that can help. So I call up my mom, all my aunt, sister. My mom had like 10 brothers and sisters. Say, okay, who know there's a good Tai Chi or whatever you know about Qigong or Tai Chi or whatever, tell me. And then who know about a good Chinese doctor? Well, who know about like whatever that can help her to have more energy, or meditation? Okay, we'll go try it. So well, my mom wouldn't do anything until I go with her. So I going with her. As I learn all this, I began to got it for myself. And I was like, whoa, this is good thing is happened to me. It's a blessing that I'm going with her meditate hours. And I realized that, wow, I need this myself. And also people around it need it. So I realized I came back to where I am. And after my mom recovered, I said, oh, 10 of my friends like Tiago, we need this. Because I'm not interested to visit you, Tiago, at your hospital bed at 60 years old when you can't even walk. I want to climb the Himalaya and mountain with my friends. So I say, no, we're not going there, okay? We're gonna turn this around. And so everyone participated. Then it's where I started. I realized that, oh, I have a joy of seeing now new leader turn their life around and be a role model. What do they truly want other people to connect with them and modeling them?
Yeah, absolutely. Michael asked about burnout. So with burnout, an activity like work that was pleasurable becomes dissociative. How can we move through that dissociation to reconnect with the pleasure of work?
Oh yeah, good. So one of the facet of my work also, I have people do spiritual coaching with certain master. I hook them up with certain master. In one of those sessions, they really discover. You really can discover your gift, your even what makes you tick, like Tiago's, what really makes you tick. And at time, after you work so much, you forgot about that. You forgot that, oh, my gift is to really creativity, like create new solutions or new frontier. And they weren't doing that. They weren't creating new frontier at their work anymore. So it become this grinding overwork and produce the same thing. So the joy we're missing now. And now when they see that, oh, I'm about creativity or taking the organization to the next level, and I need to find someone to do my job that I really can do. So then, the person we coach them, hey, go back to work, tell them the truth. You already maxed out in this area. And it's better to have more team members join and take over my work. Then now I can have this interest to create this new frontier for the organization, but I never have the time to do it. And so now burning me out and I'm no longer joyful. And now we can do that. So that caused a breakthrough for them in their performance, actually.
Can we, let's return to the title of the conversation today. So kind of wrapping up everything that we've talked about, now that we kind of all have this same understanding of what it is you do and some of your ideas and models for this, what does productivity have to do with self-worth? What what is the link, and what do we do when those two get collapsed?
Yeah, I think for leaders, we have to define what are our values. So you kind of want to define for yourself what are your fundamental values. So for example, my value is empowerment, empowering people. My value is connectedness with people. And my value is growth and exponential growth. And those are my values. And so when I'm clear about my values, then I see that productivity is only can reach so much result. But when the productivity are not tied to my values anymore, now I have a discordance. Now I use the more to produce to feel more fulfilled. Well, I can produce more, but if I'm not connected to people, then it no longer have meaning to me. And it becomes just doing the next task.
And is the way through that to basically to connect with the body and to connect with the spirit and all these different things that you've talked about?
Yeah, I think holistically connect to your mind, your body, your spirit, and let those domains tell you the answer. Your body actually communicate loudly. Sometimes we don't hear them. And your spirit actually can translate to your most natural, happier self, your natural, happy self. That's actually where your spirit is. If you look at baby, they are automatically spiritual. They are here. This is who I am. I'm alive, So spirit is that natural, happy moment that your body, your spirit will tell you.
Weihaur, say a little bit about your program. We have just a few minutes left. What is the course, and what's the link that people can find out more?
Sure. So yeah, my course is I have an upcoming 3 months program that is go for 12 weeks, and basically you learn this 8 pillars. You get to rate your 8 pillars when you come in, and you get to be coached into the different pillar and how different week you go through the pillar, and then how to combine them, how to expand them, how to deepening your own understanding of those pillars. And then this program is led by 4 practitioners and coaches. So you have a spiritual coach specialized in spirituality. You have a Reiki and emotional coach that deal with your emotional world and energy zone. And you have your life balance and health and well-being coach. And so we deal with your life and organization of your life and your physical and nutrition and bring it all together. So this is kind of how, and we also have a sex and intimacy coach that as a guest speaker towards the end. So it's kind of like you really explore in all these domains who you are and your interaction. You also, second part is that you interact with the group and in learning it together and sharing and reaching your goals in each pillars. And you also have a buddy that you just share this journey with, and is to expand yourself. It's like, wow, I really discovered newly, I'm stuck as a tree, or a boo, and now I'm opening up as a, more air and more fire, and that's exciting. And so that's how the program works. And so now I give up my link to my, you can set a call with me to actually understand the program. Also, you can go to my websites and that you can do your own 8 pillar rating. So we usually start from there to see being in a group format is the best thing for you, or being an individual format. So sometimes I work with, for example, I work with very busy leaders, so they have such a traveling schedule that sometimes the best way would be more individual based. And sometimes it's better that if you've been too hermit, it's good to be in a group. So,
Weihaur, I don't see a link from you.
oh, sorry. Let me see.
Cool. So people can visit your website there and schedule a call with you.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And when does, so you said that course is 12 weeks. When does it kick off?
August.
August?
Yep.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, thank you, Weihaur. This has been amazing. I learned a lot as well. Sounds like some others did as well. That's good to hear. And just want to thank you for taking the time to speak to us today, and encourage anyone listening now or in the future, well, after we post this recording, to check out his work. I think it's tremendously important. It's something that is very Bay Area, but I think in the future will be everywhere. And it's sort of a taste of the future, I think. And I always like the future. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you all.
And thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. Couldn't have done it without you. And if you have any questions or anything you'd like to talk to Weihaur about, you have his contact information. And I encourage you to reach out. He's very friendly. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.